All right, everyone, it's your boy Genius with G Squared Tactical. I always say that when I was in high school, one of my buddies called me Genius. That was just my nickname, and it stuck. And all through high school and young adult, everybody called me Genius. So I just say that, right? It's not something I just randomly made up, but it is your boy Genius, G Squared Tactical. About 3 weeks ago, I did some videos, my five best of 2024, my three most shocking of 2024, and I wanted to do my most disappointing purchases of 2024, but I wanted to wait till closer to the end of the year because some new stuff was being released, and I didn't know what I might think about that, right? The CC9 from H&K, which I was never able to get my hands on. So I kind of want to wait till closer to the end of the year, so that's why I'm doing this now. Got my Jeep attire on, so as not to offend anyone with maybe my Glock shirt, my CZ shirt, my IWI shirt. Trying to protect everyone and their feelings. But some people's been offended by my Jeep lately too. So anyway, so all three of the guns, the only reason I still have two of them, one of them I sold as fast as I could get the warranty repair done on it, and got it out of my face. Right, I got rid of it real quick. The other one, I would have probably done the same thing, but I've got a little bit of money in it, and I can't really get out of it anywhere close to what I got in it, so I'm still sitting on it. And then the other one, I'm still technically reviewing, okay? So without further ado, we'll get right into it. The one that I don't have with me is the Shield Plus Carry Comp. Besides the fact that I just don't understand that gun, if you're going, in my opinion, if you were going to comp a shield, which was always made as a compact gun, right? A very carryable gun, you're going to make it longer. You're going to make it the size of maybe a Glock 19 or something. You could not have comped the size that it was. You could not have, made the barrel a little shorter or comped the barrel itself and put a single port in the end or something. No, they made it longer, which not only made it ugly, but in my opinion, it made it less carryable, or for me, not even carryable at all as a compact gun, right? So never mind all that though. If you like that and you down with that, whatever, man, good for you. That's not even the reason it was my most disappointing. Disappointing because it was not less snappy than the original Shield, probably more so. My experience with the Shield, I've never liked the Shield in general, but also my experience with the Shield has just not been that great. I've had the original Shield, two Shield Pluses, and I had the Shield 45, and of course the Carry Comp. The only one of those that did not go back for some warranty issue was the 45. I sold it. I actually did like the 45 version pretty decently, right? And I did end up selling it, but I did like it. I never had any problems or issues with the gun, but I'm kind of a 45 guy as well, so that probably attributes to some of it. But the original Shield I had, the Shield Plus, the trigger bar broke, the rear sight flew off while I was shooting it, like just literally walked off the gun. It didn't break, it just walked off, right? Could never found it. And the trigger bar broke. Sent it back. They sent it back to me, and the trigger wouldn't reset. Like it just, the trigger just wouldn't reset. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this thing. Sold it to a buddy, with giving him that knowledge that it was basically jacked. He sent it back to Smith. I think he made a joke a little while later that it was his throwdown gun because it was a POS, right? I mean, his words. And it was for me as well. And all of the shields except for the 45 I have been also. But on my carry comp, as you know, it's crazy, right? You didn't clean the gun, so the rear sight broke in half, you idiot. You don't know how to hold it. You was limp wristing it, and that's why the rear sight just literally broke in half with that pot metal and just flew off and hit you in the face because you're an idiot because you don't hold the gun. I mean, I'm being funny, but that's literally some of the stuff that people were saying. If you can believe that, I don't know. Go look at some of the comments. Um, then I had an issue with the slide lock, right? with the slide release causing issues with it locking back and stuff like that. It wasn't me. I viced the gun. I also was one hand shooting the gun. Didn't put any of those videos up because when I trash talked it for the rear sight breaking, people got so crazy. There was some literal threats that YouTube sent me a message through the YouTube app, also sent me an email recommending that I take the video down or at least mute or hide those people, right? I didn't take it down, but I did hide those people from the channel, but I decided not even to put up the issue with the slide lock, okay? It was a piece of junk. It was and is, and I've never understood people's fascination with the carry comp. The shield in general, right? But if you like it, great. I'm glad you found something you like. My opinion of it is not that great. I don't like it even if it functions. I don't really care for it. That's just my opinion. But the 2 or 3 shields that have had, other than the 45, have been garbage. They've been sent back for warranty. So the most, by far, disappointing purchase this year was the Shield Plus carry comp, okay? It's sadly all of my worst of the year, most disappointing of the year, is all American made guns. 2 of them the same company. So the second one would be the Shield M&P 2.0 carry comp. And this is the polymer frame. So why don't I like it? Okay, I really wanted to like this gun. Really wanted to like this gun. The slide on this gun is actually very well done. The finish is nice. Has a very aggressive texturing on it. I like the way that it looks. Very sexy. Actually, the gun is a very flat shooting gun. Very accurate. Actually fun to shoot. So what is your beef with it, Gene? Why do you have beef with the gun? I seen a YouTuber put up a video with a legitimate issue that was happening on camera with a slide lock and some other problem he had with the gun. And literally people just raped him in the comment sections. And you know, he done a follow-up like, what am I supposed to do? Not report those things? And people say, no, you can report those things, but I think what you're reporting is nitpicky. Nitpicky? Would it be nitpicky if you were in a defensive situation and you put your slide in, or I'm sorry, your magazine in, and you tried to drop your slide and it wouldn't drop? Would it be nitpicky then? It was not nitpicky. What it is that people have either bought the gun or they want to buy the gun and they're trying to validate either purchasing it or having already purchased it. They don't want to hear anyone say anything negative. And they think that because their experience has been great, yours must be too, and you're lying about it. I'm not going to lie about a gun I paid $799 plus tax for, not counting the $300 optic that's sitting on top of it, putting me somewhere around $1,200 for this gun with tax. Okay? What is your beef with it then, Gene? Overall, you say you like it. Mag release is located good, good grip, good feel in the hand, good trigger guard, good ergonomics, good slide, what good flat shooting, accurate, all of that. What is your beef with it? I can hear it coming already. Let me tell you what everybody's going to say. Well, then just put a trigger in it. Buy a $150 trigger and put in there. Why don't you? Well, should I have to? Am I being nitpicky about the trigger? Should I have to put a $150 trigger or a $100 trigger? Or my God, a $20 trigger in a gun that I paid $800 for? Is that really what I am to believe should happen? Okay, maybe on this one, maybe my SD40, okay, it cost me $300. You can find them for $250 sometimes, okay, maybe I could understand the argument of throwing a trigger in that. Well, what's wrong with the trigger, Gene? Well, okay, ton of take up, ton of grit, relatively predictable, good little break, not bad. You hear any reset? I got the lapel mic sitting right here, so you probably heard a little small something, right? But it basically doesn't reset at all. I mean, it basically doesn't reset at all. I mean, it resets, obviously, but you don't feel it and you don't hear it, right? Reset's horrible. Trigger in general is horrible. All of the 2.0 triggers is horrible. I don't care what anybody says about it being the best trigger on the market. They're either bought and paid for, or they're validating their own purchase. No way that you believe that. And if you think this is one of the best striker fire triggers on the market, then you're depraved from good triggers, and I genuinely feel bad for you. What's the second thing? Second thing is the fire control unit pins in the frame here, the one at the rear and the one right near the takedown lever, walks out about every 150 rounds and has to be driven back in, right? From right to left, right? So I drive them back in, even them up nicely, go out, shoot it, 150 rounds, they're walked back out. Will it walk completely out? I don't know, but I don't want to find out because I don't want to be shooting this gun and the entire slide or fire control unit come out of the polymer frame. Will that happen? I don't know, but I don't want to find out either. So every 100 to 150 rounds, I'm driving those pins. They're currently out. They're currently sticking out. You can feel them very rough on your web of your hand right there. They currently are out and have to be driven back in. An $800 gun, folks. They have some QC problems, right? I don't want to hate on an American company, but I paid $800 plus tax for this gun, not counting the optic. I should have a better trigger than that. Completely and totally a Taurus G3 trigger is better. Yes, does it have a ton of take up on the Taurus G3? Yes, of course, but it has that double strike feature where you can keep pulling the trigger on a live round. If it doesn't go bang, that's the reason for the take up. But after that initial break, the reset's better on the Taurus, and the overall break and everything else is better on the G3. Don't care what you say, those are facts. This is just barely better than a high point trigger. Very disappointed in not the gun itself and its shootability, it functioned, but I'm disappointed in the quality control on this gun. And I don't think the third one is going to come to no surprise as anyone, should I say. And I caught a bunch of grief over this one too, but it of course is the Ruger RXM. Functionally, it was fine. If I just hated the gun, I totally could have made it malfunction. Totally could have done something to this gun to make it malfunction on camera to drive my point home. Absolutely could have done that. But I did not. I've put about 350 through it without issue so far, but it's not done well. Okay, people made the argument about, oh, well, I guess Goodyear and BF Goodwrench and all of these other tire manufacturers, I guess they're cloning the wagon wheel. Maybe we should be upset with them. Maybe they shouldn't make tires anymore. Just stupid, silly stuff like that, right? The 1911 Ruger cloned the SR, the Colt 1911 with the SR 1911. They cloned the Kel-Tec with the LCP. They cloned something else and was going on and on. And okay, fine. But why not be original? They've needed a facelift on their polymer frame guns. And one of the things they come up with is the equalizer, which is the butt of a bunch of jokes, right? That's what they come out with. So instead of being original, redesigning their own frame, their own slide and everything, they copy another manufacturer's gun. Glock is not copying an LCP or an ECP or LC9 or whatever else Ruger has because Glock doesn't have to, right? But it did work. The gun works. Frame is blocky. Literally, I have a P80 here that's cloned after the original Gen 1 Glock, right? And other than the grip angle itself being different, the stippling on it is very similar, very less than adequate, just slippery, if you will. And that's one of the first things that my wife said when she held it, is just how slippery it felt in her hand. There's hardly any texturing on the frame, and it's very underwhelming to say the least. The mag release is horrible, just a tiny little button that could have been brought back a little further, made a little bit more tactile. The trigger guard could have been bigger. It could have been better undercut under the trigger guard itself, and it could have been thinned out a little bit towards the top. I believe that because I have a Bull Armory that feels way better in the hand and is more ergonomic, and it is a Glock clone as well. The serrations on the slide are underdone, right? The finish is not good. And I had some folks in the comments section that emailed me personally, gsquaredtactical@gmail.com, and apologize after seeing it, because they gave me grief in the comments after seeing the gun and agreeing that the finish is horrible. The color of the lower here, what was they thinking? It's ugly. It's ugly, it feels cheap, and it looks cheap. Okay, if you're going to clone a Glock, which I don't think they should have, do it well. You know what I'm saying? Don't let Bull Armory do it better than you. This is an American company. I'm an American. I want these American companies to do better. I want them to have better quality control. You know, why is it that everyone's favorite gun brands, like mine being CZ or H&K, why are they all German and foreign gun manufacturers, right? This is a USA, right? They can't do better. You know, Ruger totally could have designed their own frame, their own fire control unit, their own slide, had their own aftermarket availability for it, totally could have done it. That's why I'm upset with the gun, not because it doesn't function. The trigger has gotten a little bit better. Someone asked about the trigger. Definitely better than the M&P 2.0. Reset's better. It eats the bottom of my finger up for some reason, and right here under the trigger guard eats my knuckle up, so it's uncomfortable to shoot. But the trigger has gotten better. But you can say that about any gun, right? A High Point, the PT-22 or that Tuck 22 that I just reviewed. I mean, you could shoot with it enough to be a deadly guy with it, right? I mean, just because it got better with me shooting it doesn't mean it is good. It just got better because I got better, right? That's really the only reason. It's disappointing, underwhelming. I don't care if it only costs $400, because there are a ton. And if you don't believe me, ask me what they are, and I will gladly tell you in the comment section the ton of Glock clones for $399 that are head, shoulders, knees, and toes better than the Ruger RXM. I was just disappointed in the company in general for cloning the Glock and then not even doing it well. Okay, for $399, I could have bought a CZ P10C, P10F, maybe even a Nocturne. I think they're still at $499 right now. But a CZ P10C or an F, way better than a Glock in general, but definitely better than this. So for $399, I could have had one of those. So those are my three most disappointing guns of 2024. Doesn't necessarily mean they were released in 2024, but they're my most disappointing of 2024. I think the carry comp, shield carry comp, and definitely the RXM was released in 2024. Not sure about the 2.0 carry comp. It could have been. I just don't remember when I bought that. But either way, those are my most disappointing. If you had great success with them, if you love them, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, am happy for you, and I'm not trying to talk you out of it. Most of my grief with this gun, the RXM, is my opinion. It's my opinion, okay? The gun functioned fine. If you love the color, if you love the blocky grip, if you love the finish and the serrations, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad for you. It'll be fine for you. It'll function. It'll do great for you. Totally go out and get the gun. Most of my grief with this is opinionated, right? And I have a right to my opinion. It is my channel. The two S&W, just horrible quality control, and I won't apologize for it at all. And I've had to send so many Smith & Wessons back over the last several years. Buddies of mine sent back to Springfield Prodigies. Stuff, again, made here in the States. What's going on? Fix it. Do better. Make sure you know Jesus Christ is your Savior. Most important thing you could do right here at Christmas time. I hope everyone enjoys their family, celebrates the real meaning of the season, and has a very Merry Christmas. Consider supporting me on Patreon. You can send me a super thanks through YouTube. I do get that money. It does go directly to me, so that's good. You can do a one-time donation. I'll have something up on G Squared Tactical real soon. gsquaredtactical.com donation tab. Hopefully pretty soon, if it's not already up. Patreon, it's a very nice place to support me. Monthly, $5 a month. Going to get a 10 tier up in the new season. As always, again, at this Christmas season, make sure you know Christ is your Savior. Be blessed during this Christmas season, and to God be the glory.